Hello, and welcome to another video. We'll be going over Ruffian and Lethality in this one. At the top left, you'll see our set bonuses that we are running 10% crit chance whenever we gain an upper hand or a tactical advantage. Then we're also running the 5% flat damage increase. That's really good. Then going into our stats, we're running the normal recommended build that I use. So what we're doing is 4 alacrity, 2 accuracy, and rest is critical. And what I mean by that is that we're running 4 alacrity enhancements, earpiece, or implants, and then 2 accuracy pieces. This is the only way we get our secondary stats. So hopefully that's clear. And then everything else is pretty much critical, including our augments. We're using Devastating Vengeance and Mastery Relic. You can totally go power instead of Devastating Vengeance if you want. It's personal preference. Both are pretty similar on lethality because you do get access to quite a bit more crit. Though, just for ease of access, currently I don't have a 3-2 power relic, so I just use that. And it does absolutely fine. Now going into our talent sheet, I don't have anything marked red here because there's use cases for most of these. The ones I wouldn't recommend is like the backblast route. Probably won't use the adrenaline rush thing, which will give you lower cooldown or extra energy whenever you pop it. It's very rare that you actually even have to use that ability. Probably wouldn't use the increased stealth. And when it comes to your reset, I wouldn't actually use the other two. Having the mastery increase and the cooldowns reset for stim boost and absorb are just way too strong. Then pretty much everything else is kind of optional except for the first one, at the very bottom. That gives you an increased duration of your stim boost by 5 seconds. That thing is way too strong. That's the main reason why we take it. We don't even care about anything else. That 5 extra seconds is game breaking. And it just basically inherently buffs lethality even further. And it didn't need buffed in the first place. So this is pretty much our bread and butter. This is the talents I take. You can take Disappearing Act, which is the reduced cooldown on Stealth Out, and the evasion on Stealth Out, if you're more interested in like trying to get out of combat a lot. Viral Elements is our bread and butter. Basically allows us to spread Corrosive Dart and Toxic Blast with our Toxic Haze, and then also use Lethal Strike and make it AoE. And as you'll see, those are the Republic names for those abilities I just listed. So going into our main combo, we usually want to get Stim Boost going right away because if we're taking any opener damage, we will not only passively heal through it, we'll also have damage reduction rolling, so we're not taking as much damage. You want to get Corrosive Grenade out immediately because we have extra critical chance on our Corrosive Grenade if it's on the target. Then we want a Corrosive Dart. And then we'll go into Toxic Blast. Toxic Blast is a white damage dot, so we want to make sure that the target is either stunned or doesn't have a super high defense chance. And then we'll use Toxic Haze. Getting off all 3 of these dots on a good spread. As soon as we get like in the opener, and we use Lethal Strike, and then use the reset to use Lethal Strike again, which is why we use Stim Boost right away, so we don't have it, already, getting wasted because we would have used reset and then Stim Boost would have reset again. You can also use Absorb, because Absorb does get reset. And Toxic Haze will also get reset, so if you need to pop another Toxic Haze, totally can do that too. That's another thing to keep in mind. And then if there's still more AoE, I recommend using Noxious Knives. It's good damage. And then a Thermal Grenade, it's also good AoE damage. If you are having to go into single target, Corrosive Assault, person that has Toxic Blast on them, most of them should have Toxic Blast on them if you spread it correctly. And then you would Shiv as your main filler to build tactical advantage, so you can Corrosive Assault more, but also at the same time, Shiv is a reliable high damage ability along with Thermal Grenade. And Corrosive Assault is your main single target DPS ability when they have all 3 dots on them. The spec doesn't quite function like most others. You can kind of like just have dot, most people, but the key to like doing really good damage is to try the AoE as much as you can with Toxic Haze and getting your dots on everybody. Missing your Toxic Blast really hurts your overall damage when you can do AoE, but also at the same time, if you want to do any single target, if you miss your Toxic Blast, your single target is going to suffer greatly. So try to make sure that you can at least land Toxic Blast on somebody, and that's who you should be single targeting while you wait to spread. And if anybody dies with Toxic Blast on them, it will actually reset your Toxic Blast. Alright, now going into game, the only thing you really want to know, obviously, is a Zorb. So when it falls off, it gives you damage reduction. That's super nice. When you pop Revitalizers, or Stim Boosts, you gain % health healing, and you also get Alacrity. And you do get damage reduction at the same time. And it'll also proc your Implant. So I'll reproc that, and this is just the main combo here. There's nothing special to it, it's very simple to play. Something you really have to think about. And it will hit the main target twice, so don't forget that. And this is pretty much our single target, just spamming Corrosive Assault while all the dots are on them. And I can shiv for more, but basically you just rinse repeat that over and over for a single target. And if you're just doing AoE, like there's a whole bunch of people here, and your Sharp Bomb or your Corrosive Grenade is not getting everybody, just tab target and get it on everybody. And then try to focus on spreading your Vital Shot / Corrosive Dart and your Sing Shot and your Toxic Blast with Toxic Haze. Push Y. Now, I have a hour-long guide on this spec. If you guys are really interested in getting more info about this spec, I will link that in the description, so feel free to check that out. Other than that, I hope you guys got something from this, and hopefully this helps, just get you quickly ready for lethality in PvP. It's super easy. Don't forget you can roll heal. So if you roll into Culto Pack or Infusion, that really helps. Your probes are really good. You have DR with Azorb, and you also have DR with Stim Boost. And then if you use your Lethal Strike or your Point Blank Shot, you'll get a critical multiplier for your HOTS, so that means you'll hit 12k instead of 10k. That's without rollout procs. Then you have Evasion. It's like a Root Breaker. I guess you kind of use it most of the time unless there's an actual melee, doing melee damage to you or white damage to you. So there's many uses you can use for it, but most of the time your chances are you're going to run into only white damage dealer or yellow damage dealers, and Evasion is not going to be as useful as like an actual defensive. It's going to be more useful as a Root Breaker. And also, if you were to get Sniper knocked and stuff like that, if you get a tech knock, basically, you can actually cleanse it off of yourself with Toxic Scan, or this one, I'm not going to try to pronounce that. That will get you out of it, so you don't have to use Evasion. But if you're in a situation like Arena, you can cleanse it off somebody else that, like, let's say a Power Tech. Power Tech probably doesn't want to use Hydrox to get out a Sniper knock. You can just cleanse them, and then you can pop Evasion for yourself, or you can just sit through it. The off healing on this spec is extremely good, some of the best in the game, and pretty much that's it. There's not really anything else I can tell you guys. If you have any questions about the class, or if you want to see the guide, I have that in the description, and I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.